So I've been away for a while, and that's mainly because of exams. And in case you didn't know, I'm still reading a physics degree at a university, and the exams themselves, they were so brutal. We call it the finals. They were so brutal that I didn't have time at all to come out and take photographs, really. But today we're finally out in our local woodland, ready to embrace nature and our old friends once again. But the condition today is not ideal at all. It's very sunny, so the light is very harsh. There are patches of clouds, so we might get some soft diffused light from the clouds. The clouds cover the sun, and so it's going to be a scouting day, a scouting mission. So that means hopefully strong compositions, but not strong images. And apart from scouting, another thing I want to share with you is some new additions I've made to my camera gears. And you've probably noticed already I have some drone footage in the beginning of this video, and yes, I've got a drone, so hopefully that's gonna give you some better perspective when I go on trips on the mountains or just in nature in general. Another main purchase I've made is a camera lens, and yes, I finally replaced my 24 to 120mm lens. It's a fab lens, but most of the time it's not entirely sharp around the edges of the frame, so I've made my decision to upgrade it to a 24 to 70mm lens, but it's not Nikon built because it's the Nikon one is quite expensive. So I went for a third-party brand which is equally superb at lower aperture, actually higher aperture numbers, a smaller aperture, because I'm taking landscape most of the time, so I don't really need the wider aperture at all. I'm going to reveal the brand in a minute, but yes, exciting stuff. And today is actually the first time I'm going to use this lens in the field, so I'm really looking forward to the result that I'll get with this new lens. So I'll stop waffling and let's search for some compositions, shall we? So I walked past this tree and it caught my attention straight away. It's a tree that's got multiple tree trunks expanding, growing outwards in different directions and different shapes. And I thought to myself, well, just the gnarly branch in the middle, bosh, and then the two straighter ones on the sides, and Bob's your uncle. But I was really wrong. I spent quite a long time composing this shot, and I'm still not happy with what I've got here, which is the final one I decided to shoot. So the main thing that's been concerning me and interrupting this composition is the tree trunk on the left. It's so dominant, so thick, and so intruding, and concerning the overall flow of the compositions and the shapes in our compositions. And bearing in mind, when most of the people, when they take a look at a photograph, they go from bottom to top. And so here, we can clearly see in the middle of our frame is this really gnarly, really nice tree trunk that's going up to the left and then turning back again. And the purpose of such a curly shape is to lead your eyes not off the frame, but back into it, so you get to spend more time on the image. And you probably have noticed we have on the left the dominant tree trunk is leading eyes away from the frame to the left. And there's really no way to deal with it. I've tried many angles and I just can't get this tree trunk working with this image. So what I'm going to do is not a completely satisfactory solution, but it's going to make the composition nicer, is to crop the image to 1 by 1, thus eliminating more of the leaning of the left-hand side trunk. And the one on the right is quite nicely shaped. So I think that's what I've got, but there might be a better location, literally half a feet from me, but I just can't seem to find it. So that's what I'm going to go with, and next time I come here, I think when the fog rolls in, it's going to create a far better image. F11 focusing on the gnarly tree trunk in the middle, ISO 80, a fourth of a second shutter speed, focusing on the main trunk. There we go. Yeah, not completely satisfied, but hopefully it'll be better once I cropped the left and right hand side. Yeah, let's carry on. Oh, absolutely amazing. Look at this. Look at these beautiful trees. Now, I've no idea what species they are, but they are beautiful, aren't they? The contrast between the white tree trunk and everything else in the background, really, and it's beautiful. So I'm gonna take a panorama, sort of starting from that tree over there, all the way to the one there on the right, and I won't take in any skies because the sky is bright and they're competing with the contrast of the trees. It's quite a jolly surprise for me. I had no idea these trees were here at all. Now, the reason I think this panel is going to work very well is because, again, the general flow of the image. So in this case, we have almost actually every single bright white tree leaning towards the center of the frame, and that creates structure and this sort of stableness inside that image, and it keeps your eyes, it frames your eyes, and it keeps your eyes inside this panorama and this frame. The other thing is I'm standing in waist-high brackens, which is very foolish and dangerous thing to do during summer because of ticks, really. I've had several bites before, but nothing really happened. And I think the British ones are more mellow than the American ones, or the ones in other countries. So I think I'm fine for today. I'll definitely do a thorough check when I go back home. But yeah, they are greedy and nasty little bastards. So please do watch out for them when you're shooting during summer and in brackens and ferns. The more observant of you guys may have already noticed that this lens is indeed the Tokina 24-70mm f2.8 lens, and I've done some testing in my room, and it's incredibly sharp all around the edges and in the center as well, as long as you keep the aperture to about f11 or f9. Anything bigger than that, as in the actual aperture, anything bigger than that, it's going to get quite soft. But I think it's a brilliant lens, and I guess we'll find out in today's images. Now I'm at f11 to give every single tree a reasonable focus. So ISO 80, 1/25th of a second shutter speed, 5-second timer, because I don't know why, but the ground is quite shaky. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lovely image, and I hope you like it as well. Also, if you know the species of these amazing trees, please leave a comment down below and educate me. I really want to know what they are. Right, well, enjoy the image. Look at that. Ah,